becoming a regular occurrence. The sound quality is just unbelievable. I can't even remember the last time we did a podcast via Facebook call. But yeah, episode number 32. Benno's here, just having a bit of a read. He's got his coffee. We've both got brutal fades, real brutal haircuts, which is a bit risky considering the cold weather in England right now. But yeah, we're back again, churning out the podcast. Benno, good morning.
Hello mate, how are you?
Good, yeah. Got up at 6, feel amazing actually. Real early start this Saturday morning. Great drive down, and yeah, keen for some practice and podcast. What you got there?
I'm just got a coffee and I'm looking at Chris Vigrass's chairman of the tennis committee review in the annual report, which is always a good read.
It is actually quite long, isn't it? Obviously, for some context, I was reading this morning when I was having my breakfast, and we've seen a good little advertisement for the podcast, maybe. Because obviously, when he's talking about me winning the under-24 singles, he's called me. It's Rob Shankman. I mean, I go by Robert in real tennis terms, but anyway, we'll sort of gloss over that. Of podcast and YouTube fame / infamy. So I assume he's talking about this podcast rather than any other one, which is good.
Well, I'm enjoying the fact that we've made it to the TNRA annual. What a quick rise to fame that's been.
Exactly, yeah. Only 32 episodes.
Two guys that were sat in Melbourne in January, literally bored with nothing to do, too hot to go outside. Went out for we had lunch, didn't we? And then I was like, should we do a podcast? And we just went back and recorded episode 1 there and then.
Yeah, we did. Australia. It's been a good journey.
9 months later, we're in the TNRA annual.
Literally, it's been a long time since that's first podcast because we were just bored. Incredible what happens. Has anything? Well, obviously, the club championship was last weekend.
Of course, yeah.
Got an Instagram, which was good. Do you like my caption?
Well, yeah, I don't like this phrase, the new normal, though. So I wasn't happy about that bit. Was it different?
The new normal,
same result.
Same result.
Something like that. Yeah.
Alpha caption.
For context, Schenker's had to beat somebody with a handicap of 27 in the semi-finals.
Yeah, but that was quick.
And
got you to the gym.
You did get me to the gym. Tom Bomford in the final on Sunday, which I didn't actually come in to watch, which is poor. I was playing golf, sorry.
Don't worry, I don't care. I couldn't care less.
I watched the on the walk. So because I can't park in central Leamington, I was walking to the car to go to golf, and I was like, looked at the time. I was like, the club champs final started. Flicked on YouTube, and I watched the first game as I was walking up the hills of the car, and I was like, good God, Shanks is hitting it like an absolute dog.
I think I lost the first game.
You did lose that
I was down the hazard end. I just I wasn't hitting very accurately, but that's what happens when you've not played a match in ages.
I almost text you straight away because you said to me a few weeks ago, do you think I can double bagel Bombers?
Oh man, I nearly single bagel him.
And I said no. And you were like, really? And I was like, no, absolutely not.
Because after I went 2-1 down, I won I
think I said it would be 2-1 or 1-2.
Yeah, I won 10 games in a row.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, 2-1's a good one. Anyway, these things happen.
Anyway, club champ.
That's it. That's not important. We're going on. The British Invitational in a month's time is important. More than a month, actually.
Oh yeah, we should probably preview that at some point, shouldn't we?
We'll preview that in November, mate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure it's on your radar.
You'll be loving. Oh my God, it's so on my radar. I'm already planning my restrings.
We've got to preview a tournament that we
will actually do it, mate. We've got to preview that. You know, you say you hate previewing tournaments. We have to do that because it's the first tournament in so long.
Well, I don't mind. No, I don't mind previewing it. It's just going to be interesting.
Okay, what's his chances? Delay, mate's not played since March. Oh yeah. Well, what about Josh Smith? Not played since March.
Yeah. What's their form like?
Yeah, delay, mate. Not played.
But there's going to be a preview of a tournament where A, we're both playing, and B, there's actually only 8 people in the whole thing, so it's quite interesting.
And we could play it, mate. I so want to win.
So we're basically talking about the other 6. Well, anyway, we won't do that, obviously, today.
No, not today.
So what are you doing after practice, Shanks?
Going out for lunch. Got a nice date.
Lovely.
In Leamington, but no one's allowed to watch any reelers. So
I can't.
The date? Yeah, I know. No one can watch that. That would be good to watch. But obviously I'd love to let her watch me and you hack it around, but that can't happen, unfortunately, with COVID. Maybe one day.
What are we practicing on court today?
What are we practicing? I really want to work hard. So if you want to, we'll do some stuff like down the line. Let's say when you hit it to the winning gallery corner and I go down the line, we'll do that today.
All right.
Because I feel like I can do well in it.
Side-to-side court sprints for you, lovely.
Yeah, exactly. You can work your back and it'll make you feel good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're about here, wholesome. However, that was a real good 5-minute chat. God, we're on form today. But so in the gym, basically yesterday, I was obviously on a Friday, we're unprepared, thinking about what we're going to talk about in the podcast. And Ben was like, "Oh, what are we going to talk about?" And I just basically said something like, "We'll talk about rackets." And Ben was like, "No, we're not talking about rackets, as in like what we use." And I went, "France."
Well, I mean, yeah. The golden rule is like a 35-minute chat. It's pretty tough to talk about rackets for 35. Well,
Yeah, I know.
it's pretty tough to talk about rackets for 35 minutes when you consider
There are only 2 makes.
there's only 2 makes and like, yeah, with like the politics involved
Obviously,
and sponsorship.
Basically, but obviously, the first idea I always come up with just sort of sparks my mind into gear, and then I just said France. Let's do a French one.
Yeah, which actually,
It's not the worst idea.
I was like, that's a great idea.
Because I was just thinking about, like, who was I thinking about? I was thinking about Hugo Lloris for some reason. Because, for context, if you're in America, this guy plays in goal in soccer for Tottenham Hotspur. And basically, he did an interview on YouTube about Gareth Bale, and I was thinking, France, he's from France.
Oh right, okay. I was just thinking, like, why on earth
That's
is
why.
Hugo Lloris just in your head? Right, that makes sense at least.
And I thought, yeah, let's do a French one, because everyone talks about, like, Australia, America, and England, and there's France as well. I've never been, which is part of the reason we probably don't talk about it.
Well, we didn't need to talk about it because, like,
France, where the game started.
Exactly, according to like various sources, is where the game started. So,
According to legend, yeah.
we should at least give it the credit it deserves.
Tell you what, I reckon what could be the case is the game actually started like in neighbouring Luxembourg, but France just took the credit or something. That could happen. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it was actually Andorra, but the French claimed it.
Which is like down in the Basque region.
Yeah, exactly. No one knows.
Andorra.
It could be. But yeah, no. Apparently, real time started in France. For any of you guys new to the game, new listeners, by
So
monks
did you
and
know
monasteries.
that at one? Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, did you know that at one point there were like 500 courts just in Paris?
Yeah, mint to start that, isn't it?
It's bonkers.
It's unbelievable. It's probably less.
It was massive.
Now
there's one.
Yeah, there is. Exactly. Yeah, there is one.
I wonder if they would have classed Fontainebleau as Paris at that point because it's like a suburb. Or I mean, a suburb. It's like
498. We'll give them that.
498.
Yeah, no. 499. Okay. 502. Well, imagine that. Imagine 500 rods in Paris. Wow.
But it is a good topic because obviously they've just added. They've just got real tennis has just got 50% bigger.
Bordeaux
in France.
Bordeaux, yeah. It's always amazing when I'm doing research on cricket and I see Benny Howell's like cricket info profile. And it's like born in Bordeaux, and I'm like, this guy was born in. Yeah, his dad works at the Real Tennis Club, Robert.
Yeah.
That's why he was born there.
Mate, I work there.
I know you did, mate. I know. I've had many conversations about it.
I tell you what, that is a fantastic city.
Really?
Oh my god!
It's so mad, mate.
Great.
When you're like 70, you can tell people like I worked in France for like
X 6 months.
For 6 months, people are like, what? That's amazing.
Loved it. Absolutely loved the city.
On your blog, right? BenMatthews16 at blogspot.com. You said when you went to Bordeaux, you got excessively fat on steak and cheese. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, I used to drink.
Must have been the life.
I used to just drink the. Like we had nothing to do, so
you got a drink then.
Well, and you're not in the middle of town at that point, and like it's even further away from town now. But yeah, there was a vending machine like just outside the pro shop that was run by like the Moroccan family upstairs that used to run the cafe, and yeah, it used to just like frequently like empty it of Heineken. Like, not much else to do.
Did you used to pay for it?
Yeah, it's a vending machine.
I'm sure you knew the code or something. I'd go in the back.
No,
filled it up with empty bottles.
It was like €1. It's not.
Oh right.
Yeah, it's not. It's
a
not
euro
that,
for beer.
It's not that shabby.
That's good though. Yeah, no, you worked in France. I've literally never been. Like my sister and my dad have been to like. My sister's been Fontainebleau in Paris. And my dad's been Paris, but.
So do you know what? When you mentioned we should talk about France, I was like, it's actually a really good topic. A, because of like the history of the game.
There's some flair players who
and
come
stuff
from
like
France.
that. Well, but also like the courts play very differently. Like the chase system is like different and stuff. So it is actually like a pretty interesting topic for like people that are new to the game or people that have not been before.
Yeah,
and
I literally
like
thought
that,
it because there's been some great players who have come from France in history. Like you talk about Etchebaster, who people say was really good.
Who?
Who? Yeah, Pierre. What? Etcher? Who? But yeah, like he was obviously pro at New York, was world champion for ages.
24 years.
Yeah, Basque man. Yeah, and also like there was
Marc Seigneur.
Shut up. We could talk about great players and great players. To be fair, good left hand.
I remember watching. In fact, this is actually relevant because it was in France as well.
Go on.
I remember going over to Fontainebleau for a French Open.
Real good. This can be a good story.
And like, so you've not played on any of the French courts. Obviously, I don't know how Bordeaux plays, but I know how the old court of Bordeaux plays, and basically they are all super bouncy.
Fair.
Like Bordeaux was the most English of the three, but was still like
Bounce.
you just get anything. Like it was literally just like a game of squash. Fontainebleau, biggest court in the world.
Yeah.
And Marc Seigneur and Rod McNaughton were playing a French Open match there.
I know this is going to be a classic with those two.
Mate, they were out there for hours and hours and hours.
What was it 3-1?
Like it was, I can't remember, but I remember like watching the first 2 sets, then going and like having lunch, like probably flying back home, coming back the next day, and they were still playing. It was absolutely.
Isnavima who?
Isnavima, yeah. Well, because the targets are massive there, or they were, and then.
Beating second gallery is not the hardest because.
But you know, like someone like Rod, his natural style is not to go out there and like hit a bunch of targets. Like he's an absolute grafter, and boy is he good at it. So he would have been out there just grafting away with Seigneur for hours and hours.
Seigneur's just licking targets.
And you just can't like kill anything because nothing cuts and everything's really bouncy.
Just got to rely on straight tampered misreads.
Rod would have just woke up that morning and gone, right, strap yourself in, Mark. We're up there for 5 hours today.
Yeah. Those are the best ones. I remember playing Peter Wright at Lords and we had like some really long rally and ended with second gallery. And Peter Wright just said to Chris Swallow, like, I hope you've had lunch. And he was just looking at me being like, what are you doing? And I'm like, that's all I do. Just run around.
I hope you've had lunch.
Yeah. Like, sorry, mate. But yeah, no. What else?
All right. So Paris is obviously you would consider like the main court in France because it's in the capital city and like it's hosted the French Open for a lot of consecutive years now.
A lot, mate. A lot.
A lot.
I'm going to say since 2013.
The one before that would have been Bordeaux.
Yeah, because there's one where like Simon Marshall played Brit.
I think I've only played in a French Open at Fontainebleau maybe twice. My first ever abroad tournament, which I would have been useless. So that's like years and years ago.
Yeah.
Well, not that long ago, but so I think it's only been there twice since I've been playing.
Yeah.
So Paris is like the main court, but actually, interestingly, like Fontainebleau was the last one to host the World Championship.
2008. 7-5, Rob Fay.
Camden and Rob.
There's some great footage of that on YouTube. Tim Pullman, oh my god, you've watched it surely. Like, you know when like Rob's hitting all those winners in the in the 12th set, and you can just hear Tim Pullman going, yeah, on this video. And then basically like I think the point before match or the match point, Rob tries to win it with a winning gallery and hits second gallery, and everyone's like, ooh. And this French guy, you can hear him on the stream, just goes, he tried to finish it with a winning gallery.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, unreal videos.
So you know, like FIFA keep giving like the World Cup to like not obscure countries, but countries that you wouldn't expect to do it, and and like it ends up helping that country because they develop their infrastructure and do all that kind of stuff. That's exactly like what happened to Fontainebleau.
I heard about that, yeah, because like they just got loads of money, didn't they? Like,
so there were like
all sorts.
Yeah, so Bertrand Fourballier
invested
like heavily into that World Championship, and there were some like. So I don't know if you know, if you host a World Championship or you propose like a certain venue for an eliminator or the challenge itself, whatever, there's basically a World Championship committee that determine whether they think the court is acceptable.
But obviously that court was too big. Like, how on earth did it get accepted?
So what they did is they actually, and like, don't quote me on this because I could be maybe not 100% sure on it, but basically, effectively what they did is they just put like one extra layer of bricks on like the dead-on ledge, the side of the dead-on, maybe two or whatever, so the dead-on got smaller.
Oh, fair.
I think they did the same with the grill, maybe put one on the bottom ledge to make it a bit more like manageable.
Yeah.
Don't know if they did anything with the galleries or anything like that, but they also did something to the main wall to make it a lot smoother because it was pretty rough and you could get some pretty funky bounces.
Some cool dead-ons.
Yeah, so they kind of, you know, Fontainebleau as a court is now a much better facility as a result of hosting.
It's proper high though, isn't it, as well?
World Championship. Mate, it's the biggest court in the world. And you know when when you walk on court at Hampton Court, does it feel wide to you? Do you kind of go on court and go, this feels bigger than other courts?
It used to, but not anymore.
Right. You walk on court at Fontainebleau, and you just go, this place is massive. Like,
Yeah,
I played real tennis on loads of courts or whatever, but this place feels gigantic compared to anything I've ever played on before. It's massive. It's absolutely huge.
To be fair, yeah, I know what you mean. At Hampton Court, you do get beaten wide on stuff, which is like, how is that beating me?
Well, Hampton Court's the second biggest court in the world.
Yeah.
Fontainebleau's the biggest. I think it's just so long.
Yeah.
Like, you're miles away from your opponent. It's unbelievable.
I don't even think I want to play it. Like, looking at it, it's like I can't even see my opponent.
I played. Actually, just very quickly going back to that World Championship, because this is absolutely hilarious. So, Fontainebleau is the only court in the world that is actually like a purpose, like real tennis court, not one of these like Bayonne, La Bastide, whatever, where the doors are the chase the door and hazard the door are still like the mechanism to change ends, right?
Yeah.
So when they had the World Championship in 2008, there was a bit of a like, where's Drew going to mark from? Because the markers box, as it is known, isn't there. Like, the first gallery at Fontainebleau is huge because it goes all the way to the net post, right?
Yeah.
So Drew was stood to mark at chase the door, which would feel quite weird, right? I mean, obviously you're an amateur, so you don't mark, but it would be like
mark from the dead on.
It would be like marking in the dead on all the time, and then saying, right, can you mark this match, but stand in the middle of the dead on? It's just a different vantage point, right? It's a bit weird. So what they had to do is they this is not a joke, because Drew was stood like too dominantly in the service end. They had to get like a hazard marker.
Matty.
So they strapped Matty into a harness and had him literally like hanging from the like, pretty much. There's like a really narrow balcony at the hazard end, like high, and it's not deemed to be massively safe. So he was basically harnessed and like hanging like from the ceiling or something, and just sat there watching like 4 sets a day of Rob and Cam going at it. Just literally sat there like suspended, like marking hazards.
You're joking? He was up top.
Yeah. Yeah.
But surely, like, is it basically like at Queen's the balcony up top or not?
Well, it's higher because it's Fontainebleau. It's massive, mate.
Was he not scared?
Oh, I don't know. Ask him, Matty, if you're listening.
He definitely listens to this. He loves it.
Let us know.
That's so good. I like that.
I remember playing again, because the targets and stuff used to be so big before they redid the court for that. I played a French Open there, and I played Rosa in the.
Oh, what a player! The best player.
Maybe in the quarters or the last 16 or something. And he was like world number 2 or 3 at the time, and like a far better player than me.
Wasn't working hard whatsoever.
And I was just like, right, I'm not going to beat this guy by like out rallying, am I?
No,
So I was just like trying to spank it around, and literally I won the first set against him, and I had 2 set points in the second set to go 2-love up.
What did you do with them?
The first one, I just generally like lost it. Like, he just played a good point, and all I'd done up until that point is hit straight forces.
All right, Woodman.
Straight forces at him, right? And then I got this like meat pie off the back wall, and I was like, oh, I'll take on a main wall here, and like hit it up, and then he just like carved a backhand volley off the side penthouse, and that was that. Lost 3-1.
Oh well, these things happen. To be fair, you might have lost anyway.
I probably would have lost anyway, but that was massive back then. So yeah, Fontainebleau, biggest court in the world, World Championship 2008. I've not been down there for a long time, but I would imagine the improvements that were made for that World Championship have made it like a
playable,
proper decent like venue.
Not playable. It's obviously playable.
It's only 45 minutes outside of Paris.
Yeah, I remember hearing a story from Adam Player, like when he was playing an Open or something, and you asked for accommodation, and he got put in Fontainebleau or something.
He was billeted in Fontainebleau, and had to get the train up every day.
They probably thought it was a joke, like A player. Oh no, we don't need to put him there. But yeah, right, okay. Let's talk about like great players, other great players. So you obviously got Barret, don't you? Or like
Bar or whatever.
Bar. I'm sure it was Barret, not Bar.
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah.
I don't know if he was French, right? There was a guy called Charles Delahaye, nicknamed Bibosh, who played like.
I genuinely do. I've never heard that name before. This is amazing.
This is a good story. So basically, he used to play like rogue handicap matches in the 19th century. One of which was played like in
Bibosh.
To put Charles Bibosh, yeah. I'll spell it. And basically, he used to play like handicap matches. One was like dressed in full army gear. I'm sure it was called something better than that. and another one was like played like where he had to play every point jumping into a barrel and out of a barrel. Apparently, but yeah. So there are a few. Obviously, Mathieu now.
Matt, very good player.
Yeah, he is good.
Like, a very good player.
Oh, come on, please. I'm trying to find him on Google. Oh, it's in the history of real tennis, right? Delahaye. Sorry, guys. I will find him. Don't worry. Here we go. Hang on. There he is. That's him. It's that guy. You've seen that painting. That's him.
I have seen that painting. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Bibosh.
Bibosh. There he is. Look.
Bibosh.
Look.
It is Bibosh. You're absolutely right. Jeu de Paume. Jeu de Paume. Player of
Jouet.
Paume. All right. Anyway, well, let's.
Cheers, Bibosh.
Well, so the other two
else?
courts. We've got to talk about the courts. There's only 3 of them, so it's not going to take forever.
No.
Paris is obviously like the major club.
Bouncy.
French Open, very bouncy, very big dip. The penthouse there is so steep. It is like it's one of those courts. If you're chucking railroads on it, you've actually got to hit it like pretty hard to get it like to the other end because it hits the penthouse and it just wants to kick so far to the left. And it's one of those courts where like you can easily get on a roll just serving nicks because it's hard to volley off that penthouse. And the court doesn't cut down, so you're not like shredding cut volleys in there. You're just hitting cut volleys round the corner and they're slapping it at the grill kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you can get on a roll there and just bang out nick after nick after nick. But if you're not serving well there, it just gets slapped at you. And also another fun fact about Paris: the stroke area at the hazard end is
long.
tiny.
Oh, it's tiny. That's it.
Yeah, so you can hit like hazard second with a railroad.
Oh my God.
On the floor, like easily.
Is a miss grill a hazard every time?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, as in like, or if you're putting it down there, you have to put it down there at like a certain pace, which obviously then means it's all a bit like gettable.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah, so like when you're playing doubles, you can't kind of hammer it around from the service end as much as you could normally because you can just hit the hazards like way too easily.
I got you.
But yeah, Paris is a great club as well. Nice little club.
Squash as well.
Yeah, people playing squash all day long, and it's a very sociable place to be. Lovely part of town near the Eiffel Tower.
Oh wow,
he's very close. Well, in fact, I had a thingy came up on my time hop a couple of days ago, my Instagram.
Like, the thing on your backhands?
No, it was like last year. It was either a year ago or 2 years ago, and it was me and Lummers winning the French Open dubs.
Yes, 2 years ago.
Yeah, it would have been 2 years ago. So yeah, Paris has got some Paris is one of those courts, right, that when you go there as like a 10 or 11, you play against like a local 15 and you lose every time.
This is like golf, like they throw out the local.
You literally lose every time, like to people that you shouldn't lose to because it's a tough old place to get used to start with.
Yeah.
Like, it is a tough old place. And you get some, you can get some kind of like strange results. If one person isn't like a fan of what's going on, the other guy can like absolutely like smash you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you've got to just be all right with like what's happening, and you've got to kind of battle what's going on because it's not. You don't get the normal kind of bounces that you see and you're used to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So you're used to a certain type of bounce and you just don't quite get it. It's just a very good home court to have, basically. Very good home court to have.
Yeah, trust. Probably develops an aggressive player.
And then Bordeaux, who knows? Neither of us have been there.
I keep seeing a few like Instagram stuff.
Yeah, it's right by the airport, so it's even further away from the city now.
Really?
So it's great for. It's great for like traveling players. I mean, you can probably, I would imagine, based on my fairly average geographical knowledge of like that part of Bordeaux, you can probably see the club from the airport or see the airport
Serious?
from the club. Yeah.
Perfect if you're flying in.
That's what I mean. It's great for visitors.
Oh,
it's
mate,
terrible for locals.
Did you hear about like the club now? Apparently they don't have changing rooms. So like Manchester, obviously this isn't bad, but it's just an anecdote. But like apparently Manchester came to visit this summer, and apparently like they had to like shower in the hotel or something.
Yeah, no water or something.
Yeah, they couldn't have
run out of
showers.
water or something.
It's what it is. Yeah, there's not enough sea. But yeah. Well,
so I'd be interested to get down there and have
Trust me, I want to go to the French Open because it's always around my birthday, and I was going to
You were
go.
going this year?
I was going this year. I was actually going. And yeah, obviously I'm not anymore, which is a shame. But maybe
that got put in the bin like very early. Actually, they were very ahead of time on getting, not in a bad way. I just mean as in they gave everybody plenty of notice that wasn't happening this year. I'd be very interested to see how it plays down there. I'm sure the club's set up very nicely. They've got Nick Howell there.
Yeah, they do.
So they've
great player. Hopefully he'll do loads of British events now because he's obviously there.
Well, which British events? Which what all of these many British events that the TNRA put on for us?
No, the RT bit. Come on. But yeah, I don't know who else is good from France. I'm just we're just talking randomly. Nicolas Victoire.
Victoire still playing.
He is still playing, yeah. But obviously he was a
back
proper
in Paris.
He was a proper player back in the day.
Yeah, and perfect for that court. Big, tall, rangy,
Volley,
just
yeah.
hammer
He
it
is
around.
so big, to be fair.
Yeah.
Watched an epic with Durac at the 0 to 9s last year. That was long.
He drew Durac in the French Open there probably 2 years ago, I would have thought, and they were close on handicap, and somebody was like, who do you think is going to win this? And I was like, Victoire will roll him. And they were like, really? They're really close. And I was like, you just can't underestimate how advantageous it is to have Paris as your home court. And it was 1-1 and 1 or something. Or, no, I think Victoire won the first set 6-1, Durac won the second 6-2, and then it was 1-1 or something.
Fair. Who else good?
Sarlong, Victoire, Seigneur, he was
good.
good.
Peo Sarlong. He basically came, the 1 year the Manchester Gold Racket had tennis was 2013, and Peo Sarlong came because Mathieu was there. And I remember him playing, who the hell was he playing? He was playing coin or something. And basically, he was hitting some of the hardest forces I've ever seen.
He absolutely used to smoke.
Mate, bins, mate. He was hitting top bins, rockets. I was like, oh my god, this guy is whacking it.
That's pretty much all
Obviously, he lost about 1 and 2, but he was hitting some big balls.
But that's what he used to do, just hammer it straight force at the dead on.
I was like, fair play, mate.
I remember he used to go in he was obviously over the moon when Paul Knox and I went over to Bordeaux because he was like, I've got something to play with, and he'd turn up and just can we have a hit or whatever? And it was one of those hours where you're just like, oh god, this actually isn't that fun because I've actually got to concentrate because someone's just absolutely trying to fucking take my head off the whole time.
Yeah, respect that when people can actually do that.
But yeah, he gives it a tonk.
Who else is good? French players. Come on, Rob. We're talking history. We'd have to go 19th century. I'm sure there were loads.
Well, I'm sure.
There was a challenger in 1911 called Ferdinand Garcin. Yeah, exactly.
I would imagine that the French have probably reeled off quite a few world champions in there.
Clerge the Elder,
yeah.
Great yellow rackets. Who else? I don't know. Thierry Henry. I don't know who else.
Thierry Henry.
Other good French players. Oh, come on, there's got to be a few.
Well, this is more your.
This is my area. No, I'm struggling here, but no, there's got AJ Kemp might have citizenship. Struggling here, but yeah, no.
Well, not anymore. We're not part of the EU, are we?
No. Well, there we go. France, obviously, real tennis, the home, where it all began. Imagine if it got bigger into Europe, expanded. I'd love to see more courts in France.
Well, so would I. And actually, one of the things because I've never been down there, but apparently, you've got the oh god, I can't even what it's called. The coast at the bottom where you've got Marseille and Cannes and stuff like that, that's meant to be the French Riviera. That's meant to be a pretty insane part of the world. Imagine if there was a court down there.
Yeah.
Nice and Monaco. Nice is
Monaco. A court in Monaco, mate. It'd be dangerous that.
No tax.
No, not just that. You just get pissed all the time.
Nice is an amazing place. There's
oh
god, I need to think of the spot. When I lived there, people used to always tell me about it. I think it's Toulouse. Apparently that's
I've got some mates who went on Euro abroad to Toulouse.
Lovely. It is Toulouse, yeah. Apparently that's a lovely part of the world as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are some absolutely amazing parts of France that.
Let's get a court in Andorra. That actually borders Spain, not France.
Well, it borders both, doesn't it?
Oh, does it? Oh shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair. A court in Andorra would be good. The Andorra Open.
The Andorra Open. One thing we've not mentioned, which is incredible.
Go on.
Is the chase system.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, because I don't know anything about it. That's why. There's number 8s and stuff. No, I don't know. I won't even carry on.
Well, there's a number 8 at Canford.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Well, it's done in feet,
Feet.
not yards.
So what? You're chase 5'8".
On a good day, yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. I actually think it works a lot better.
Why? I don't understand it.
So the numbers go up in twos, right? So the actual, like, the full lines are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You get 14, and then it's last gallery, right? So in England, chase 1 is the size of the line, is the width of the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And chase 1 and 2 is the width of a line. And then chase worse than a yard is a much bigger area of the court, right?
Yeah.
So in France, when it's in feet, you've got from the back wall to 1 is all chase 1. From 1 foot to 2 foot is all chase 2. Well, that's how I mark it there anyway. So each chase is the same size. So it's basically the same setup as Preston Hall.
Yeah.
Each chase being the same size.
Got you,
Instead of
yeah,
it being
yeah,
better
yeah,
and
yeah,
worse
yeah.
than, it's just a number because it's just done in feet.
Oh, nice.
So it's
so it's
much,
exact then. So there's no better. It's just number. So you
it's
can
just a number.
Oh, well, that's easy then.
So it's just much easier.
Yeah, to be fair,
figure out.
like I saw a thing on Twitter yesterday, with Claire at the Oratory doing like chases with the kids, like shouting the door and they run to the door. Imagine just saying a number. It's so easy. Like, yeah, number 7. Rather
Well, you get
more than a yard worse
you
is
get
like
the,
12.
Well, you get the galleries. Well, no, see, that's where it gets interesting because once you go beyond last gallery, it still does all of that. But the way you say it, so you can get like 2 better than second, right? But how you would say it in.
Go on, do it in French.
2 better than second.
Yeah.
Second la paire de deux, which means
Nice.
second loses by 2. That's what it means.
Oh wow, that's unreal.
So you call it as second loses by 2, and what you actually mean by that is 2 better than second. And this is probably a separate podcast on like how to make the game like more innovative and attractive for people. This, like, nearly a yard worse than last, more than a yard worse than last. It's all complete and utter tosh.
I just make it up, mate.
Get it in the bin. Everyone should have a chase 8 now. Worse than 8, better than 8.
Yeah, they should.
Everyone should do that. You got to turn around. You got like introducing people to the game, and you're like, oh yeah. So this is better than 5, and this tiny little bit here is 5, and then this big bit here is worse than 5, and then 5 and 6 here is like a tiny little line as well. Garbage. Get rid of it. Move to feet. Go to the Preston and French system. It works so much better.
Yeah, or colours now, don't work.
If you're trying to introduce someone to the game, you want it. The game's complicated enough, right? You want it simple.
Oh, mate, honestly.
But what's quite interesting, like you see people like turn their heads and stuff, like when they're playing in the French Open or whatever. It's just like, 40-15, chase 13, and you see people go like, oh, hang on a minute, where the hell is that? Where's 13?
Where's 13? It's there.
Exactly. I always just pretty much just halve it in my head.
Oh yeah, what, 6.5?
So I'm like, right, it's about worse than 6. It's good enough for me.
Okay, got you.
It's rough and it's nice. It's close enough that you're not going to get it so wrong that you end up losing a chase by 2 yards or feet because you've misjudged the maths. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, the scoring system, the chase system there with the feet, I think it works better than the English system. That's got to check. That's got to go. I think.
Well, we've said it here on the podcast. The chase system's got to change. Maybe it will. Maybe it will.
Can you imagine if, like, in a year's time, every court had like feet, or just where all chases were like Preston?
I'd still be nailing second gallery, so it wouldn't interest me. I don't bother with those numbers, mate.
Exactly.
Last gallery, second gallery. That's all I know. That's all I do.
Just show me where that big line is that I'm supposed to surf from, and that's my chase marker every time.
The different coloured line, like. Yeah, last weekend I was like at the Hasdem, I think, for the first 2.5 games, and then I just thought, why aren't you hitting galleries? Just do what you can do. And then I changed ends with 2 second galleries. So I was like, right, okay.
Stop trying to show off. Do what you do.
Stick to what you know.
Stick to what you know. I was hitting with Josh the other day, and you would have enjoyed this comment. I was hitting with Josh, and I tried to be like aggressive on a ball that I'd normally just be like quite tight with and quite tidy. I tried to be aggressive, and I hit it like loose, and I think he put it away or something. And then I exclaimed like, "Ben, stop trying to be ambitious. Just do the boring, tidy stuff that doesn't win you majors."
Yeah, it's good way of thinking.
It's just like, just do what you do and don't win, like, because at least you feel better about yourself.
So true, to be fair. You do like after you go like aggressive on a ball, you're just like, why have I done that?
Why have I done that?
You're literally just like, you're such a monk.
Well, just choose the right moment, isn't it? It's like it's just ridiculous.
Or just get there.
Or just take your medicine, or just get better.
Colin Montgomery, take your medicine. You're in the rough, onto the fairway. Don't do it like a DeChambeau. Anyway,
or live by the sword, die by the sword, right?
exactly, yeah.
Go for it, and then suffer the consequences,
Exactly.
or enjoy the.
If you practice,
the benefits.
if you practice the 1% shot enough times, it becomes the 100% shot.
100%.
That's what Rob Fay told me.
You can increase it. Well, I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
In theory. Well, that was good. It's good to talk about France on the podcast. Hopefully, you guys in France listening. Sorry, I literally don't speak any French. If there was a Spanish court, I'd be all over it. Speak a bit more Spanish, but Benny speaks far more than me.
Well, we should.
Sorry, there's no translation.
Use this opportunity to plug the fact that, obviously, maybe not in the current climate.
Yeah.
You can get a Eurostar to Paris in 2.5 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Not from here, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's an absolute piece of cake. Fontainebleau's 45 minutes, so you can get Paris and Fontainebleau done in a weekend.
Nice.
And we should plug Bordeaux as well, and so you can fly there.
Yeah, we should.
You can fly there in an hour and 20 minutes.
I've actually just put an Instagram story up as well with the Jeu de Paume page in the annual open, just to like tempt people.
So an hour and 20 minutes on the flight to Bordeaux.
Yeah.
That's an absolute piece of cake.
Yeah.
And like because you're by the airport, there's gonna be loads of hotels and stuff. You can literally just do a whole weekend in Bordeaux. Eurostar down to Paris and spend the weekend there. Like, get yourselves over there.
No excuses, guys.
Absolutely.
Apart from COVID. But yeah, that big excuse. We've all got excuses. However, let's move on to the court section. Obviously, we talked a lot about courts, but we were at Hatfield last week, weren't we?
Yeah.
Are we going down the M1 into Middlesex University?
No, because if you remember rightly, you correctly pointed out that we've managed to completely bypass Radley.
Yeah, that one. My geography was decent there because it is down the M1, Hatfield to Middlesex.
It's down the A1 actually, but nice, but close.
A1M. Right, okay,
exactly.
yeah, we're going to Radley. A court in a school.
Another one.
I know, yeah.
The future of the game, I reckon.
I've played a lot at Radley, to be fair. I did like 3 summer camps there. Obviously, Chris is there. Chris has been there since the start, since 08. Was built in 08, yeah, I guess. It's quite cool design.
It is too. It's got the
Blue
it's got
aqua.
the what is it? The snake and the bird. It looks like a pigeon. All I remember is like the key.
The key. It's a cool key actually. But yeah, no, Rally's an interesting court.
Do you know what? I've only actually played there a couple. They host the Dutch singles, don't they? They host like the Dutch real tennis.
I don't know why I've never played.
Stuff. Yeah, true.
Never been invited.
The
only way I've played a competitive match there, and I played there once, and it shows maybe how the British Open is reducing quality. I've only ever had to qualify once the British Open.
Of course, yeah, they do the qualifiers, don't they?
Yeah,
I think they had one match in the qualies this year.
It's ridiculous. Like I had to qualify off 12 or 13, and then after that, I was like, well, I was off 6 the next time I played.
See, mate, back in the day, if you were off 12 or 13 trying to qualify, you'd get destroyed in the first round of qualifying.
Yeah, exactly. There'd be some legend like in the qualifying.
Mate, you'd have people off 5 qualifying. Like you just get murdered. I remember, I tried to qualify one year and I got beaten 1-1 by Mark Edel in the final qualifying. He was off 3.5, and he was having to qualify.
That's
ridiculous. So I've only actually played there a couple of times. Went and had a practice there with like Paul Knox when he worked there. That's how long ago that was.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And I went and had a lesson there with Chris Robinson a few years ago. So the only thing I can really remember about it is it's like a teal aqua colour, isn't it?
Cool colours.
It's not your kind of typical green or blue. It's kind of a mixture of the two. The hazard end stroke area is black.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
But I can't remember what the rest of the floor is.
Like red.
It is red. Like the terracotta.
Yeah, terracotta.
Standard.
The old army.
Standard colour. And I know that the service wall is actually like
false, not wood.
Wood, yeah.
Yeah,
it's like false.
I do remember that because
wall.
when you try and serve a sidewall, it makes a horrific sound.
Yeah, but you can properly rip it up there because it doesn't hit the wall and explode.
It's good for a sidewall. Good for a sidewall. It proper comes down. The grill makes a great sound.
Dead-on's tiny.
Main wall's false as well. Don't think the main wall's proper
There's
wood.
a door, I think, at the net. Like
it is wood, but there is a door.
Like there is on the West Court at Queen's.
Yeah.
Same kind of situation, I think.
But I think the West Court doesn't sound as bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, Radley's it slides around so much there. I think it takes side more than anywhere else in the world.
Really?
Mate, you face a cut volley, and you know everywhere else, like the ball comes into you, it'll just hit the main wall on a cut volley and just go straight, like it slides down, like it's proper. When you first get on there, it's like, how am I reading this?
So I would say that doesn't take side spin then, because if you're wrapping around a cut volley, if it hits the main wall, it should grip and spit into the middle of the court.
It doesn't. It doesn't do the opposite.
Yeah, so I'd say that doesn't take side then. It just slides.
Okay, fine, it slides then.
Well, I mean, I could be wrong, but
It's
that's
trust
how
me,
I picture
it stays narrow there. It stays narrow.
like a Lord's.
No,
Stays very
more narrow than Lords.
But I'm
just
like,
come out of Lords.
The word I use is like thin.
Yeah.
So
No, I know what you mean.
It's a thin kind of band.
But not like a quick thin like Lords. Anyway,
the dead-on's very narrow.
It is.
From the main. It's not a Petworth. You know, could you imagine Lord Egremont playing at Radley? He'd be like, sorry, where's the rest of the dead on?
Yeah. I'm not playing. Can't hit my main walls.
Ridiculous.
But I did.
But I believe, wasn't that? I believe there's always that like Chinese whispers and reelers. I believe that Chris Ronaldson had an influence to get the width of the dead on like made narrower to try and like take away the main wall force as much and encourage people to play more like classic stuff.
We'll never know.
Rumour has it.
All I know is in that British Open qualifying match I played against Zach Edel in 2015, I finished it at 5-all in the fifth, 5-all in the third with 2 main walls. So clearly the main wall's not that bad.
Well, no, they're not really main wall dead-ons, though, are they? They're just boasts.
All right, great.
You've actually got to boast it to get it in.
Yeah, I think I hit the door like in the middle. But yeah, no, like it's good. Right, this is gonna be fun. I propose a game with great players who come from Radley.
Yeah, and the problem is you're going to do better than this because they're all ex-schoolboys, and I'm way too old for that. So I was 24 when this court got built. So.
No. I'm talking in the history, mate. There's some historical good players.
All right, fine.
Mate, just be better. Come on.
All right.
Right, I'm going to start with James Mayo.
Julian Snow.
Yeah, good. Luke Danby.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, come on, I could be chatting bollocks.
What? Hey, well.
I think he did go to Radley. I think he did.
Well, maybe Luke Danby went to Radley, but
maybe he didn't.
But hang on a minute. We're talking about greats, so get him off the list.
I don't know if he did. I think he might have done.
I didn't know that. I'm going to go with.
I don't know if Luke Danby did.
Oh God! How good are we talking here? Like,
I don't care, mate.
Are we having any of the like school kids?
Hit me with a name, mate.
Like Benedict Yorston?
No, get him out. No, not a chance.
Who was the guy that was in Australia? There's 2 brothers.
Batstone, yeah, Ned. Who else from Radley? Come on, some historic players. Oh, God, come on, Rob.
I mean, to be fair,
Julian and James Mail are good.
I mean, as soon as you say those 2, you don't need to go anywhere else, do you? No one else is even close.
Not really.
You've got a rackets world champion and British Open
Mick
winner,
Dean,
and a British and a world championship challenger.
They both won the amateur actually. There's so many.
No, I mean as in Mail was like rackets world champion and won the British Open. Julian obviously won countless like
Paddy
British
Sutton.
amateurs and Rory Sutton.
Great players.
Yeah, they've had a pretty like decent list of pros as well. Like Chris obviously is like a very very well respected pro.
Lummers.
They've had Lummers there.
Zach.
Yeah.
Nino.
Yeah. Knockers.
Yeah. Well, Levi was there now, or is there now? Or he's at Oratory now.
Yeah, I think he's been doing some stuff at Rowdy, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So I mean, as you'd expect, really, with like Chris turning up and having a crack at it. Like it's obviously just landed on its feet. It's busy. Like he's obviously done a great job in getting people through the door. People are enjoying their 10-minute marks at 10 to midnight, so they're happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're getting on court, man. That court is so full, man. That court is so full.
Do you know how much like the boys get and stuff? I imagine they get like
They get a bit, yeah.
Yeah, they get like a certain like block booking.
It's so good because there's like a swimming pool. Like the whole complex is mint at Radley. It's like attached to a sports centre. You got car
what's really
parking.
good about it is it's easy. Like the oratory's the same as well. Like when you drive in, like you can get to the real tennis court, like without having to drive through the school and everything, can't you? So you can just nip in on that side road, and it's pretty easy. Like one little road in, you park up. You haven't got to kind of go looking to find out where it is or anything like that. So that's like helpful. And yeah, you've got the swimming pool just up the corridor, right?
Yeah.
Change rooms and stuff like that.
You do, yeah. Change rooms decent.
I've actually played golf on the
golf course.
I've actually played golf there,
Nice.
yeah, with Knockers years ago.
That's pretty good.
I mean, all things considered, a very, very good school, I think.
Radley's a good school, yeah. I mean, I'd imagine so for sure.
Is it near the rackets? It's not, is it?
No, it's probably like a 5-minute walk, 3-minute walk from the rackets. But Yeah, no, I reckon it as well. I mean, it's produced some players recently. It should be good. It's quite central as well. It's a shame it doesn't host more, but I guess good enough that it has the qualifying.
Well, yeah, and I think the qualifying should be much. I was going to say much bigger this year, but unfortunately, the TNRA didn't decide to postpone the British Open. They just cancelled it. So it'll be interesting to see next year if things get even remotely back towards anywhere near normal. It'll be interesting to see if they get some more people in for the qualifiers and stuff.
Yeah, I know, it'd be good. Or maybe they should just stop this 15 thing and just let anyone in.
No, pointless. It's just so pointless.
Okay, that makes sense.
I wonder why it's at Radley, the qualifiers.
Right, okay, I've got another player, sorry, who went to Radley, a guy called Thane Warburg.
Yeah, I know Thane Warburg. I don't want to say sorry.
My dad knew him.
Yeah, I know the name, big time. He's got there's a trophy named after him.
That's David Warburg. The Warburg Trophy is it's some tennis pro thing, but basically his dad was David Warburg, who was a good amateur player.
Right.
And Thane's the son. He actually works at Shrewsbury School, so a few of my mates from uni knew him. We went there. A bit of trivia, but yeah, no. What were you talking about?
I think I've just realised. Why are the qualifiers played at Radley
And not at Queen's.
Well, I just mean why they're at Radley. Also, I've just seen a court that we've not actually mentioned in our tour yet.
We did once.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah, we did. Okay, right. Yeah, why is it at Radley?
I don't know. Randomizer.
Bizarre,
picked out of a hat. And I don't even know. But yeah, it is at Radley.
Well, I always think to myself, if you've got, there's a picture of me in the TNRA annual. Ben Taylor Matthews, Leamington Professional.
Good write-up from Leamington. They obviously forgot to submit one.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been me.
But no,
I would have thought, right, that you've got a lot of courts in the UK, right?
There are loads.
Some of which we're going to assume are more successful than others. Some are going to be struggling more than others. And when we say struggling, it doesn't mean they're on the verge of closure. They just might have less money and less usage than other stuff. Surely something like the British Open qualifiers is the perfect thing.
Yeah, to bolster a club.
To give to a club that needs a bit more, a bit of help.
Yeah. Trust me. Why doesn't it get given?
Thought that. I'm not going to start naming clubs because because we're just speculating. But
I don't know why some tournaments don't just get moved around. Why don't it be perfect to get?
All right, let's just. I'm just going to throw Newmarket out there, not because I know anything about the financials of it, but because it, generally speaking, doesn't host much.
No.
Right, so it's not necessarily
because Mark Hobbs will win everything.
Well, yeah, exactly. It'd be pointless for everyone playing.
Yeah.
But why aren't the British Open qualifiers held at a Newmarket or, something like that? Or I don't know, Petworth doesn't host very much.
Hardwick.
Hardwick, yeah.
I'd fucking play at Hardwick.
Why not? I just find it bizarre that you've got somewhere like a Radley, right, which is obviously it's a victim of his own success because it's so busy.
Yeah.
And then, if I was a member there, I'd be like, why have we got the British Open qualifiers? There's loads of courts that don't have any court time, court usage is down, and yet I can't play on the weekend because we've got the British Open qualifiers.
Yeah, it's weird. It's more tomorrow than here when it's dead busy. It's I can't play on the weekend unless it's before 10 o'clock because there's always a fixture. Hampton Court binned all their fixtures, didn't they? Because they were no, we want to play. I think that's reasonable.
Because the members are I can only play at the weekends, and you're basically telling me I can't play.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I don't know. I just find it somewhere like a Radley that's so busy, and yet they try and squeeze the British Open qualifiers in there as well.
Right, where are you putting it on your courts? World Championship.
God, I just don't.
World Championship at Radley. Wow.
Oh man, it's brutal because I just don't really have any. Unfortunately, it's going to be one of those.
Bottom third for me.
Well, it's bottom third for me, just because. Well, not because I don't like it like you, but because I just have no experience there.
I just don't. Well, I remember that match, and I think I started off really slow, and then once I got into it, I actually played really nicely. But I don't think it's as nice as other courts. But then again, I'm sure you get used to it.
Well, it's all about how you play on a certain court, and also whether the court kind of suits what you're.
Doesn't suit Lord Egremont.
What you naturally like to do. Yeah, exactly. Eggy would have no part of a World Championship there. Absolutely no.
You have to develop a new strategy.
He'll just give a walkover, just like James Mayle did. James Mayle refused to
Play
turn
him.
down challenging for the World Championship.
He did, yeah. I know he did, yeah. Right. Even though he won the Open.
Yeah, didn't want to get his pants pulled down apparently.
Really? Oh my god.
That's not me saying that. That's what I've heard over the years. But
You-
Chinese whispers are amazing. He probably had a broken leg and had a perfectly viable excuse.
Or he
but-
probably was like, I can play rackets and win, or I can lose to Rob.
So it would have to be bottom third for me, just because of my lack of experience on the court, and for no other reason. It's not a slur on the court or anything. I just don't know it.
No, we can't put everything in the top third, can we?
Exactly. I just don't know it.
Guys, from Radley, if you're listening, let us know what you think. Why do you like Radley? Or maybe you don't like Radley.
Why should it host?
Yeah,
the
why
World
should it host?
Championship?
Well, top gallery at least. It's got a top gallery.
Yep.
And it's got a gym. Right, what else are we going to practice today? We're going to do that drill. We're definitely going to do that.
I'm going to boss that forehand corner today.
Yeah, we'll do a bit of that. That's good. Should we just do forehands today? We'll just do forehands.
Fine.
And you had practice yesterday as well. You're swimming in practice.
Not yesterday.
2 days ago. Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thursday. Very good. But yeah, no, little 2-dayer here.
Where's next on the tour?
Middlesex.
We're going to have to go down to Middlesex, aren't we?
It's good. I wanted to talk about Middlesex today, but
I know you did.
I like Middlesex.
Well, hang on, don't spoil it. Got to talk about it next time.
God, I'm teasing you. Right, well, you need to kick these guys off court in 4 minutes, so
Yeah.
we're going to have to be quite proactive. Anyway, guys, enjoy your weekend. Stay away from the rain.